Divisional Playoffs of NFL Primetime. The Great Eight started with a struggle in Seattle. Could the Seahawks finally get that elusive playoff win? The Redskins were game. The champs on the road and on the ropes. Would the Patriots run come to an end in Denver? Plus, we look ahead to Sunday's games when the Colts begin their big Super Bowl push. The best weekend of the NFL on NFL Primetime.
NFL Primetime is presented by Miller Lite. Primetime is Miller time. And now, here's your host, Chris Berman.
Well, top of the morning, everybody. Chris Berman along with Tom Jackson, although it's still very much late and a happy evening in Mountain Time. We begin the round of Grade 8. The teams that have earned their byes, they've earned their home field advantage, and a lot of teams earning, well, a lot of big stuff could have happened on this day, Tom, as we talked about this morning.
Yeah, said on Sunday Countdown, we thought some history would be made as we watch the games go on this weekend. We've already seen some of that history.
Well, part of the history will be, and you know because you just watched it, we now know for the first time in 3 years that New England will not be the NFL champion. For only, the second time this century, they're not going to be the NFL champion. That's because they went into Denver, where the Broncos were undefeated and after their own bugaboo. Mike Shanahan and the Broncos trying to win for the first time in the postseason without John Elway. The new Mile High, that's in Vesco. And Bill Belichick and the Patriots 10-0 with Tom Brady in this era against the Bronco team 8-0 at home this year with Jake Plummer at the quarterback. And John Lynch showing why he still brings the heat from the safety spot. He got under the Patriots' skin very early. It's almost like he's having his own joust with Tom Brady, Tom.
Yeah, false start on the first call. Again, John Lynch coming off the edge. Brady gets rid of the ball, but certainly he was aware of the fact that John Lynch was going to be putting the pressure on Broncos, hoping that it would take its toll as the day went on.
A lot of folks thought that even though these defenses can play, this is not going to be a scoreless game till late in the second quarter, but it was. Jake Plummer, did you have Putzier for 24 yards in the first down on a 3rd and 17 for Denver early second quarter. Denver had better field position most of the game, certainly in the first half. Tatum Bell on 2nd and 2 from the 4 at 2-yard gain. Measurement just short of the first and 3rd and inches. A loss of a yard. Interesting call, Plummer on a quarterback sneak. And then this one on 4th and 1. Very curious, Tom.
Yeah, you're throwing the OS, the over the shoulder for the wide receiver. Outstanding play by Asante Samuel on the ball. You know, I'd call to come up with following the timeout.
Then Plummer throwing Asante Samuel. How about the footwork here? As they first ruled out of bounds, Bill Belichick challenged it, reached in his sock, put out the red flag. This is a superior play. And so,
great job getting the ball, getting the feet down. We could actually see it clearly. The officials had to go to replay.
So Tom Brady, you figure you go for the jugular, not in the shadow of your own goalpost, but between two defenders. 51 yards, Andre Davis. And, hey, Adam Vinatieri's kicked the field goal. New England leads it 3-0. 2 minutes to go. They don't ever do this. Kevin Falk gets a fumble, and Ian Gold treats the ball like gold. He's on it for Denver. Take another look, and well, there's the hit. The ball squirts out. Gold recovers, and on the first play after the recovery, Jake Plummer, play action. Boy, Denver throwing a lot more than we thought they would in the first half to Ashley Lee, and pass interference called on Samuel. And boy, this one could have gone either way.
Yeah, it's an odd call, but the official thought that he was actually leaning in toward the receiver. As you watch the replay, you can certainly see there's some contact, maybe Ashley Lee with the hand, but the Broncos get the benefit of the call.
Well, it's a big benefit because the ball's at the 1 yard line, and so with 1:45 to go in the half, Mike Anderson in the end zone, 7-3 Broncos. Ensuing kickoff as they try to console Samuel and Falk. There'd be more consoling needed. Ellis Hobbs hit by, of all people, Todd Sauerbrunn, the kickoff man, obviously in the punter. And it's Denver ball. 2 fumbles in the final 2 minutes of the half.
Yeah, and look at Sauerbrunn put his helmet right on the football. That's now standing play by a kicker.
And so that sets up a Jason Elam field goal, 10-3. 10-6, third quarter. Flea flicker, Tom Brady. to Deion Branch. And Branch with the spin. And now the Patriots are in business in the final 4 minutes of the third quarter. But Brady, after an incomplete on second half, Champ Bailey, a couple yards deep in the end zone, down the sidelines. Kevin Falk not going to get him. He could go all the whoa! Ben Watson from nowhere, ball out of bounds. They say it's at the one. Obviously, Bailey with a 100-yard return. Belichick said, how about a fumble? And if it went through the end zone, it would be a touchback and an unbelievable break the other way. They looked about 8 million times.
You know, we got the same look that the officials looked at on replay, and it was inconclusive. There was nothing that you could do to turn that call over. But
this,
look
Tom?
at the effort by Ben Watson. He ran not only the 100 yards down the field, he ran another maybe 30 or 40 yards across the field around the official. That's the kind of effort that you expect from a champion.
Well, they went 101 yards. The Broncos keep the ball, and then Mike Anderson in from the one. And all of a sudden, what could have been at worst, you figure 10-9 Denver lead, is now 17-6. What a turner. And then, well, you know it's not going well when Adam Vinatieri, after 21 straight in the postseason, misses a field goal. He made a field goal earlier than he pushed right to, later in the fourth quarter. Troy Brown back because the youngsters are fumbling the stuff. Oh. And Troy's been such a great Patriot for such a long time. And with the game still in question at 17-6, he fumbles. Ensuing possession. Rod Smith, who has killed the Patriots through the year from Plummer, 24-6. Brady throws a bomb late into triple coverage. He had to try it. Picked off 5 turnovers. 5 Super Bowl trophies with those two guys right there. Belichick with 3, but he won't get 4. Mike Shanahan with 2. He's alive for 3. The Broncos beat the Patriots and end one of the most spectacular runs in NFL history. But Denver gets their first win in this new Mile High in Invesco. Their first win post John Elway. They're one step back from getting to the Super Bowl. They win it 27-13 on a day when the Patriots turned it over 5 times to Denver's 1. Broncos, after the game, thrilled.
I give them credit for the way they performed, what they did, and for winning the game. And you know, obviously we're disappointed, and we're able to make the plays that we need to make to win, and that's why we didn't win.
From a coaching staff standpoint, to the nucleus of their players, offense, defense, and special teams, I've got the utmost respect for what they've done, and we really feel fortunate to come away with a win against a team that has played at that level consistently for a number of years.
That's why we came here, get in the playoffs, win playoff games. We got to go to whoever next week, or hopefully somebody come to us.
You know, you watch the playoffs, whenever you watch, you know, especially last week, the teams that lost were teams that turned the ball over. And, you know, we cost them on special teams to give us a short field, and when we got a short field, we scored points, which was huge. So, you know, hats off to those guys on special teams. And, you know, we had a kicker, you know, causing a fumble, which you don't see that very often. And anytime that happens, you know, things are going your way. That's good stuff.
It's disappointing that you look back at the game and you realize how many points that we just laid up on a silver platter. So you're never going to win when you do that, especially against a good team on the road. And, couldn't really get the ball in when we got down tight. They made some good plays. I mean, it's a good team. It's an attacking defense, and they made the plays they needed to make. And it was just, you know, not a very good day by us.
So despite the 341 yards throwing from Brady, despite outgaining the Broncos 420 to 286, it was not enough to stave off the first playoff loss in this era for the Patriots. Tom Brady now 10-1. Well, I remember when Joe Montana lost his first game. I was at that one. I was at Washington against Joe Gibbs. Bart Starr lost his first and won his other 9. But, I mean, these are the names you're talking about. And here's the number.
Yes.
6 in the previous 10 playoff games, turnovers, 5 on this day. But we certainly give Denver credit because they caused certainly a good deal to them. And the play of the game was made by Champ Bailey, and because the game was about to turn. But Denver played, I think, with a fury. They were in Brady's face a lot, not so much in the second half, but in the first half, threw what New England planned to do, I think, offensively off kilter, Tom.
Well, I think certainly the Denver Bronco defense played very well, and turnovers are only good if you get them. And I think that the Broncos took advantage of the fact that when the ball was on the ground, they were the ones who came up with the football, and Champ Bailey made the play of the game when he intercepts Brady pass and runs it back to the Bronco 1 so that they can run the ball in. But I think that when you look at this football game, a very odd game. You know, the Broncos had 32 rushes with the football, but it didn't seem that way early on in the game. Jake Plummer throwing the ball to set up the run, and I think Jake did an adequate job of that. But certainly, you're always looking for this team to get him on the edge. Those things didn't happen, but congratulations to the Denver Broncos.
Absolutely.
You dethroned the champions. You did it. You knew it was going to be a tough battle. I thought the Broncos played a very physical football game to come out and win this game, and that was part of the reason that you get the turnovers. You're putting your hat on the ball.
And so much, at least in this day, Jake Plummer, he's going to revert it. No, he didn't. Turn the ball over only once, and Samuel made a great play on the play.
Jake played fine. The New England Patriots, that's the number.
No.
6 turnovers in those 10 previous playoff wins, 5 today against the Broncos. That will get you beat every time.
You know what, though? We did this when the Colts lost after 13-0. We give the Patriots the nod because we've seen one of the great performances in NFL history. But it's over for this year as the Broncos move on. We'll have more on this game a little bit later. As we move on NFL Primetime, we also will have the NFC highlights coming up. As the Seahawks, you talk about a drought, especially in a place where it's rained for 27 straight days.
Presented by Miller. There's good enough, and there's better than it has to be. Miller, good call.
Welcome back to Divisional Round NFL Primetime. It's rained for almost a month in Seattle, but it wasn't enough to undo the drought that's going on for the playoffs and the Seahawks. Since 1984, it's been since Seattle has won a postseason game, and in comes Joe Gibbs and the Redskins. Gibbs, with his pedigree of 3 Super Bowl trophies and 17-5 in the postseason against Mike Holmgren, a winner with the Packers of the Super Bowl, but trying to get the Seahawks on the right track. And here we go from the beautiful Pacific Northwest where, well, rain, the fog, and then the smoke. Could the smoke settle on the side of the Seahawks? Matt Hasselbeck, to Darrell Jackson, who's been hurt much this year, 37 yards. Shaun Alexander, 6 carries, 9 yards, and a fumble when he wasn't hit, Tom.
Yeah, and he only lost 1 fumble during the regular season, so you knew it was going to be an odd day for the Seahawks.
Mark Brunell struggling early last week. Remember, they had only 120 yards in offense. Brunell to Taylor Jacobs incomplete. Then Rocky Bernard hits. Brunell forces the incompletion. Then Alexander trying to cut back, as he's done for 880 yards during the season. And he's hit in the head, suffered a concussion. And even though you saw him on the whole second half on the sidelines, would not return.
Yeah, you saw him take that hit right on the head just as he was going down, and then comes the fumble.
Seattle special teams, horrible. Just, I mean, as far as at least fielding the punts. They covered stuff okay on kickoffs and punts. Jimmy Williams muffs it. Redskins recover. Then look, Carlos Rogers almost makes it a 10-0 Redskin lead. Boy, that would have been a huge, obviously huge play, so it remains 3-0. Maurice Morris hits the hole pretty quickly. You don't know him much because Alexander gets the carries. He picks up a first down for Seattle on 3rd and 1. Again, just gets 2 yards, but a first down, running behind that left side. And then, with under 4 minutes to go in the half, Hasselbeck, 29 yards to Darrell Jackson, and Seattle has the lead 7-3.
That's a great adjustment to the ball. A nice throw by Hasselbeck, but you saw that Jackson had to actually turn around to get the football. That's an outstanding adjustment.
So now, 3rd and 3. It's the third quarter. Hasselbeck to Joe Giravicius. First down, Seattle. Hasselbeck threw for 300 yards in his first 2 playoff games the last 2 years, albeit losses. He played poised, and he smelled the end zone. Touchdown, 6 yards, and it's 14-3 Seahawks to the thrill of Shaun Alexander. Bryce Fisher, Grant Wistrom played well at the ends today, Tom. Turnover on downs. And now with the score 17-3. Wait a minute now. First minute of the fourth quarter, Washington not gone. It's a team that won 6 in a row to get this far. That's Chris Cooley, 52 yards. Then Brunell, who knows how to win on the road in the playoffs. He has a handful of them. to Santana Moss off the helmet of Andre Dyson. A strange play.
Yeah, Dyson made a great play on the football, couldn't focus in on it, hits off his helmet. Moss, great concentration to make the catch.
And then Josh Scobie, Dobie, don't. Fumble! And the kicker. Boy, both games the kicker's in it. This time John Hall, the kicker, recovers. So, after the turnover, 3rd and 4, 8 minutes to go. Brunell to Santana Moss, and Marcus Trufant laid him out. On a high throw, bang. Redskins try a field goal, 36 yards. John Hall, no good. Left. Joe Gibbs had a chance to cut it to 4, but his kicker missed it. With Alexander and the Seahawk fans nervous. Mac Strong, the play of the game. The Pro Bowl fullback, the blocker for Shaun Alexander. 32 yards for the first down. What a play it was by Strong. A check off at the line. Hasselbeck. Josh Brown kicks a field goal, 20-10. After the 2-minute warning, Brunell to Moss, 39 yards. Washington, maybe, just maybe. But on 4th and 2, a minute to go. Into the end zone. Ooh, almost caught by Moss, but incomplete. Michael Booyah makes a nice play. And Mike Holmgren has the elusive win. You talk about elusive. 21 years. Holmgren, as a Seahawk coach, had lost 3 straight. But this time it's different. And like Denver, the team that was undefeated at home in their conference, the Seahawks, they keep rolling. They win it 20-10, despite losing the turnover battle 3-1. So give Washington credit there. But afterwards, some question, hey, Shaun Alexander, how was he as the day rolled on, the coach?
I think if I showed him a picture of a truck, he would say it was a truck and not a butterfly right now, you know. And so he's pretty lucid and knows stuff. Now, they'll do more tests on him. Obviously, we have an extra day, which is good. But they seem to think that he's going to be fine for next week.
Obviously, we want to be much more productive than what we were in the playoffs. And, I think what we always each year try and look real hard at everything, and that'll be one of the things we look hard at is offensively, how can we do a better job. It's been a long time. It's been well documented since 1984, since the last Seahawk playoff win. And, it was a heck of a game, very hard-fought game. I tip my hat to Coach Gibbs, as I always would and will, and his team. They battled like crazy, and but our guys showed a lot of perseverance, I think. And we lost Shaun. It kind of stunned us just a little bit, and then we got back on track.
Well, they did get back on track, and again, we all tip our hat to Coach Gibbs because, quote, the game did not pass him by, all right? But the game also did not pass Mike Holmgren and the Seattle Seahawks by. You wondered, this team, but they dug deep in a lot of areas, and again, I'm impressed, and you're going to go through the roll call. We mentioned it during the highlights, Tommy. Matt Hasselbeck.
Absolutely.
I think he can play. He's a big-time player. I think you showed that today.
Well, the game was put on his right arm. You know, when you think about how resilient the Seattle Seahawks were, you have to think about the fact that this football team lost Shaun Alexander. He only gained 9 yards. Mark Brunell actually outthrew in terms of completion and yards Hasselbeck. But I thought that, Hasselbeck came up big when he had to. Darrell Jackson came up big when he had to. And this defense played, I think, the kind of aggressive football they need to play. The special teams got to improve before they get to the championship game next week.
There are 2 rookie linebackers, Tutupu and Hill, were the 2 top tacklers for Seattle. We wondered how, like Plummer, how this young defense would play. They played pretty well. Seattle, moving on, they will host the championship game. That'll be the late game next Sunday. As for the Sunday games this week, Colts in a rematch against the Steelers, Panthers and Bears in a rematch as well. We'll preview.
To NFL Primetime, presented by Miller Lite.
Play of the game with New England knocking it, perhaps taking the lead inside the 10. Last minute of the third quarter, Champ Bailey 2 yards deep in the end zone, steps in front. Kevin Falk can't catch him. Nobody's going to get him. He does. Go. Oh, we're only kidding. It's Ben Watson with an amazing play, but a 100-yard return by Champ Bailey, which sets up an Anderson touchdown to make it 17-6. Then when Jake Plummer found Ron Smith, New England couldn't come back. 27-13, a heavy mountain for Tom Brady.
You know, we came to this game, and I don't think it was mental today. I mean, I thought we really did a lot of good things. We just did too many bad things. I think receivers did a great job today. Offensive line, I don't think we got sacked again. You know, we throw for almost 350 yards, run for, you know, a bunch of yards. Just didn't, you know, the turnovers just nullify everything. So, you know, you take away 3 or 4 bad plays and it's a different game. But obviously you can't take away 3 or 4 plays. And that's, you can, no matter how well you play, if you turn it over, you're not going to win. And we just turned it over too much.
Well, it's a press conference Tom Brady has never had in the pros or college, where he was 2-0 in bowl games. So the champs out. Denver, an amazing thing. They dethrone the champs now tomorrow. The Colts, the, quote, regular season champs, if you will, who were 13-0. They beat Pittsburgh on that Monday night. Can they continue by beating the Steelers again? Panthers lost in Chicago during the regular season. Can the Panthers continue on the road, or will the Bears' defense be too tough?
Yeah, tall mountain for the Steelers to climb, a 6 playing a 1. Colts haven't played a significant game now in a while. I would expect them to be emotionally ready to play. Panthers and Bears, you know, I think a matchup of front lines. Who's going to put the pressure on who in terms of stopping the run and then pressuring the passer?
This note for the Colts: Nick Harper questionable tomorrow, the very good starting quarterback. He was injured when his wife cut him with a knife. She was jailed. So at this moment, they don't know if he'll be playing on Sunday. If he does, where's his head? We'll be back with a final thought and game balls on Divisional Saturday on NFL Primetime.
Inside the Numbers, brought to you by Visa, proud sponsor of the NFL, with Visa's multiple layers of security. Presented by Miller. There's good enough, and there's better than it has to be. Miller, good call.
Boomer, my game ball goes to Daryl Jackson. You look at the numbers there, to 9 for 143. That is a playoff record for the Seattle Seahawks. Significant because Steve Largent played for the Seattle Seahawks.
And I'm going to go on your team, Tom. John Lynch, he remains a force. He had the pick at the end of the game, but it was his blitzing and his penetration in the Patriot backfield in the first quarter that really set the tone, I thought, for Denver's defense. We'll have a new champ. Denver did the job.
Congratulations, Broncos.
And congratulations, Seahawks. Huge monkey off back. For Tom Jackson, I'm Chris Berman. See you for a countdown at 11 a.m. Eastern.